Yesterday was a Monday, and I'm not a cat or an orange one at that, but Mondays suck. For many people, Mondays act as the reminder that they aren't where they want to be yet, that the long, brutal week they went through before the weekend is really that brutal. The alarm goes off again, the commute feels even longer than last week somehow, and you're off to spend basically the rest of your day at a job you probably weren't sprinting to get back to. If you feel stuck in life, Mondays confirm you're still exactly where you think, and that really nothing's changed. But in the space between Mondays and the day after, there's a very important decision you have to make, and it's one that can change everything. You have to live for Tuesday. How would you react to getting punched in the face? Zugwig, what are you talking about? How would you react to getting punched in the face? Stay with me. Do you 1. Run away and accept the big scary bad guy just served you a two-piece no fries? Or 2. Swing back as hard as you can? Now, to disclaim something, this is just an analogy, and this isn't the Karate Kid dojo. I'm not Mr. Miyagi, and you shouldn't go around punching people. But if you answered that question, you already got your answer to that decision I mentioned earlier. Because after a Monday, most people are still holding the ice pack on their face instead of focusing on how they're going to kick the sheets and conquer Tuesday. They're still whining about the fact that it's hard or nothing's working, and they already somehow know this week is going to suck before they are even on the second day. I'm not here to tell you one approach is better, life does genuinely suck sometimes. But your reaction to that determines how good your life will be when it doesn't suck. You need to live for Tuesday. When Monday feels insurmountable, you need to live for Tuesday. Because after Monday, you either decide to repeat the same exact day again for the rest of this week, or you take back your life on Tuesday. In that space, whether you realize it or not, you decide whether you live to lose that week or you live to win. And it's a decision you make every week. It's a decision you make 4 times a month, 52 times a year, on average 4,160 times across the span of your life. I want you to think about that the next time you catch someone saying they wish they could change their life, because whether they realized it or not, there's a certain number of times they chose the wrong decision for what they really wanted. I would go as far as to say that you need to live for Tuesday over living for the weekend. Because don't get me wrong, the weekend is awesome, but that's not the real world. I mean, it is the real world, but it's not the version of your real world you're actually trying to build yet. You know what I'm talking about because there's the slightest bit of guilt Friday and Saturday night, and you probably feel the same exact dread that I do on Sunday. Now, absolutely enjoy the weekends, I know I do, but recognize that until you reach a certain stage, your world is classified into the weekday stage and the weekend stage, and most people live their entire lives exclusively for those 2 glorified days at the end of the week. But I believe that you need to live for Tuesday, because if you can live for Tuesdays, the day that determines how you respond to adversity, you live for your entire life and enjoy all of it. Even if you never become successful or financially independent, if you lived for the fight, for the consistent actions, for the mere chance to get what you wanted, then I think that makes you successful, better than just sulking and turning into a human punching bag. So what does that look like in real life, and not just from the word of a random YouTuber with 6 subscribers? For one, it means to recognize the decision. Congrats, you've already done this one. Just by watching this far, you know you have the ability to decide each week how you respond to Monday, whether you hide away from the week or you conquer Tuesday. Next, decide. If you decide to cower, identify why you would think you want to, and if you still feel that way, please click off this video. My goal here is not to convince you to change your life. It's just to tell you it's possible and give your mind something it probably hasn't considered before. That's still something for you to decide on your own. Finally, act. Ideally you have a plan, but it's fine if you don't. Now don't do anything radical, but acting is the most important part after deciding to live for Tuesday. That's because it shows Monday and the rest of the week what's about to happen. It shows you aren't comfortable where you are, that you won't stand for Mondays always bringing you down, And eventually, with enough action, there's a good chance Mondays will feel as good as the weekend does right now. And part of you may even miss how fired up you got on Tuesdays, back when you were struggling and just trying to change your life. Mondays suck. I'm not denying that. For a lot of people, they represent the same cyclic pattern society has basically forced them into. But that's why you need to live for Tuesday. Because even though your Mondays might suck right now, that doesn't mean your Tuesday has to either. See you in the next one.